We are live. Hi, I'm Sean, and welcome to Wings Week in Review. It's April 1st, 2022. Today,
No fooling. No fooling.
Today, our topic is going to be choosing the right path in life. I got a special guest, Daniel, with me, but I have a couple people up front to introduce. First, Ann Edenfeld-Sweet. She's our director or founder of Wings for Life, and she's going to let you know kind of what happened this week, what's going on with Wings. It's the Week in Review.
It's the Week in Review. So we are reviewing what we did. Well, of course, we had Marty Wolf, who we are blessed to have on staff with us. And she talked about surviving and thriving in a world of different personalities. And what was so much fun was, of course, learning about the different colors and trying to figure out what we are. And then interacting, we had inmates from 4 different prisons this week that were there with us. And it was so much fun hearing them kind of take it in and analyze it. And then, of course, Marty had really challenged us. The goal is ultimately that we all become looking like the rainbow, because we are picking up the positive traits and learning about each other from all the different colors of the different personalities. But to hear the inmates be able to talk about how they could be interacting with one another differently in the prison, how maybe looking at a correctional officer, the warden, different instructors, different staff people in various prisons, and of course then all the various inmates that they are encountering all day long, and trying to understand better the different personalities. It was very, very helpful. And if you haven't seen that one, definitely go to our website or go to YouTube and check that one out, because it was a great one. Now, we have another speaker coming up this Monday, laying it on the line with money management. Lawrence Castillo is a gentleman that has done financial management for years. He is president and owner of LNC Retirement Income Planners and host of Safe Money and Income Radio in Albuquerque, but it's a syndicated radio show that's been on for years. And the way I actually met him is I would come out of church and I would hear these things, just little blips about money management. I thought, oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, I kind of like that, because I hadn't turned the channel or something. And I had heard him for years. And finally, one day I decided, maybe I should be a little bit more wise about my money and call an expert, never dreaming he was here in Albuquerque, but he does this syndicated show. And so I did call him, and ultimately I did end up, not that I have much money, but what little I had, I wanted to save and make sure I don't lose it. And so worked with Lawrence, and that's how I got to know him. So we're going to learn a lot from him, because he teaches financial advisors. He's like the qualified instructor for the state of New Mexico, and has done this for many years. And so financial planning is very, very important. So we're always busy here at Wings. We've had all kinds of wonderful pieces of art that have been created this week. And if we could get a sample of it, I could show you some of the things that we're doing. Our Wings Works, of course, that Sean is heading up, and JD. And that we have a kiln off-site at the home of the donor who has given us her business. But we get things brought into our office, and here we go. We'll kind of hold this up and show everybody. Look at this beautiful little kiva. And what we've had volunteers and people in the office doing is adding the little kiva sticks, because if you live in New Mexico, you know what I'm talking about here. Or not kiva. These are the latias that would go across into a building. But look at the darling little ladders right here. So this is one of those products that you'll be able to get from Wingsworks. So we've had a lot of activity going on, a lot of ladder making and putting the little sticks in for our latias around here this week. So it's just been a great week, a lot of exciting things going on, and I'm just thankful you're here with us today. If you have any questions for me, I'll answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to get on to our great other guests.
We actually have one of these to give away, if I'm not mistaken, to whoever signs up for one of our memberships on YouTube. You go to the Wings for Life YouTube channel, hit the join button. There's 3 levels of membership. They start at $1.99, but the first person to sign up for any of those levels, we have one of these to help you. So,
and they're really neat, because you put a votive candle inside of them, and then all the little windows and the doors and the top shine through, and they're just really, really lovely. So yes, what a great gift. You're going to want to win it today. So are there any questions, Sean, or otherwise?
Well, I got
I'm
a
moving
couple
on.
people to just acknowledge here. Eric Smith, he says, hi, Sean. Hey, Eric, how you doing? And we have one of our own, T.R. Keesing.
Oh, there
You
you
guys
go.
are looking good. You too, Tom.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you
All
go
right.
on and talk to all the other wonderful guests
All
that
right.
we have. And thanks for joining us. And join us every week for this Wings Week in Review.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.
And before we get on to the main part of the show and our topic, Sarah, one of our interns, she's going to join us. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Sarah's the intern here. And if you guys don't know, we actually have interns here at Wings. And maybe you're wondering, they have interns? Well, what do they do? What's it like to be an intern? So, Sarah, maybe you could tell us what an intern does here at Wings for Life.
Okay, so we, we help put stuff together. We are collaborating together to work on a business pamphlet workbook for whenever Wingsworks opens. We've been helping write that out. We help all of our presenters that we have every Monday. We help them put their PowerPoints together, send out their press releases. We're learning how to write grants, which is pretty exciting.
That could come in handy for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And we're just doing all the help we can.
How many interns do we have right now?
Ooh, let's see.
6, I think. Is that right?
I think
5,
so.
5 or 6?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Mhm.
And how long have you been an intern here?
I've been here since August of last year.
And you go to the university?
Yeah, I go to New Mexico Highlands.
Okay. So when you are looking for an intern program, do they give you a list of programs to call and try to find an internship with, or did somebody recommend Wings? How did you come here? How did you find us?
So we at Highlands, we use a website called IPT, and it's just a list of different places offering internships, and I found Wings on that list, and I looked it up, and I just reading about it, and then when I first talked to Ed and stuff, it's just really amazing work what we do. The inmates and their families are kind of looked upon like very negatively in society, and there's not a lot of help for them. But everyone deserves a second chance, and we're that second chance for them, and I just really like all.
Well, I'm glad you believe that. Not everybody believes they
Mhm.
deserve a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but it's true. Not everybody wants to give us a second chance. They don't even want to give you the first chance, but they want to keep you locked up, and they don't want to know. They don't want to see. They don't care about your story. They just want to go on with their lives. And then there's people like you who the opposite. And I'm glad you're here and trying to help change all that.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and just everyone needs a second chance. So.
Okay. And how long are you with us till like next month, I think?
Yeah, till next month. But I am definitely going to be coming in. I still want to volunteer when I can. But unfortunately, for school for internship, I won't be able to continue on to in August when I start my master's. I have to go elsewhere, but I'm definitely still going to come around and do some volunteering and help out here.
Sounds like you're going places. I know we were talking
Yeah.
earlier about your future plans. At least you have some goals and some dreams and some plans.
Mhm.
I think you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're
Thank
doing.
you.
I sense goodness about you. So
Thank you so much.
I think you'll do fine in the world. So,
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Sarah.
Yes, of course.
We'll see you next
Yes,
week.
Bye.
All right. And now I have Daniel. Let's see if we can. I'll scoot over and you can get in here in a minute. So, guys, this is Daniel, and he's one of our newest kind of volunteers. Been hanging around Wings a little bit now, and he's got a lot of ideas and things he wants to do to help us to get going. And decided to have him on the show here today. And we came up with a topic called "Choosing the Right Path in Life." Let me introduce Daniel and say hello, and
Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel. I've been with Wings for Life for about a month now, and it's a great program. And one of the things she talked about second chances. If I was ever going to write a book or a novel, I'm 54 right now, I would probably entitle it 9 Lives or Survivor. I have been through a lot. And what I've realized is we have our own free will. We make our own choices. Sometimes other circumstances can lead us astray. But if we stay focused, positive, determined, and mainly have a purpose every day when we wake up, each day is just filled more with peace and joy and calmness. And that's what I'm starting to realize every day now. And volunteering and helping the community is just a wonderful way to spend my free time. I love it. I love making a difference and helping people. I used to be in a program called Under His Construction. My friend Chris runs it. Excellent program. It's biblical based, and what I learned from that is if you listen and be obedient and put God first, and everything falls into place. Just the way you think, you make short-term goals, long-term goals. Once you start achieving those, you just feel everything that you've done in the past just kind of seems to fade away. And one of the things I learned really good in this program, and I think everybody should do something like this, it's called a balanced action plan. And I've been utilizing this and it works. Basically, it's 6 categories. Spiritual living, which means giving meaning, purpose, and value in your life. To me, that's number 1. Number 2, physical health, taking care of myself, exercising, eating right, sleeping right. My mind is just so much clearer and focused. Healthy relationships. This is very important.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hanging out with the right people, godly people, losing people that are not good for you. That influences. That's huge also. And, I used to be a hockey player. I'm from Chicago. I love the Bears. I still love
Bears.
hockey. I still play hockey. I want to coach hockey. So that's one of my new interests and pursuits. When we develop new interests, hobbies, with your free time, that eliminates things like loneliness or isolation. It all goes back to how we were brought up. I had a wonderful father. He was a police officer. He passed away when I was 17. Unfortunately, he was,
Chicago police?
he was with the Winnetka Police. It's a suburb of Chicago.
Still, that's.
And my brother was a police
Tough job out
officer
there.
also. And, I kind of have that in my blood. But, he passed away. He was sick when I was during my teen years. So, we talk about peer pressure. I had to hang out with some of the kids that, like to do the wrong thing, or when I was in the car with them. But eventually we learn to just make our own choices. Okay. And what I've mainly learned is now I've made mistakes. Everybody's made mistakes. It's how we learn from them. The main thing I learned now is when we get tempted and we decide, should we do this? Should we not do it? I'm thinking of the consequences now. That short-term, excitement or enthusiasm could turn into 2 years, 5 years of pain, suffering, being locked up, instant gratification. It's not worth it. I just like having peace and calmness, and it's so much easier way to live, and you're much better productive person in society, and everybody around you can see it. They can feel your spirit. It's just a wonderful feeling.
I agree. Let me catch up on these comments. I got Cathy D. She's from Australia. Hey, Cathy, you are all doing amazing work. Thank you very much, Cathy.
Thank you to the land down under.
She's got a son in prison in Australia 8 years to go, and he'll be out. So, and she watches us regularly. Thank you very much for watching, Cathy. So, a lot of those things I have a little list of notes that I don't always use, but they're just little keynotes that, you talked about peer pressure, loneliness, depression, relationships. That's what all the stuff I have here. And I think a lot of choosing the right path in life. I mean, I'm one who went to prison, and now I'm finally choosing the right path in life. At least I think. There had been times in the past where I was down the right path, but then I switched and I went back and forth. And,
Right.
and it all starts with growing up, and I know I got down here, growing up, like my parents were alcoholics and my dad was very violent, and I wasn't, my father did not believe in going to college. He said that was a waste of money. That was for rich kids. And don't you dare waste your money and go to college. No son of mine's going to college. What kind of parent says that to his kid? But, I made bad decisions. And I remember as early as junior high, I remember being in the first day of 8th grade or something at a new school. These kids were out in the field in little groups, and you could see little puffs of smoke coming from their little groups. And I was talking to another kid who I think at the time was considered a nerd, and he was trying to be friends with me. And I said, "What are they doing out there?" Because you don't want to know what they're doing out there. Well, I did. When he told me that, I had to find out. The next week, I'm one of those kids out there, and you can imagine what they're doing.
Well, and
I got into all the kids from the dysfunctional families just like me, and they're out there doing drugs and they're smoking this. And look at these pills I stole from my mother's medicine cabinet. I got these from my older brother.
Right.
And next thing you know, I'm on the road to all those bad decisions and stuff that eventually led to prison.
Well, and what I've learned is when you're young, especially your teenage years, those are difficult years, you're very easily influential. A lot of people grow up without fathers. We have a pretty, I've been in New Mexico since 1998. There's a pretty high crime rate here. I think a lot of it has to do with fatherless children, or they get started on the wrong path at an early age. I really don't know the answer to that, but I know eventually some people takes a little bit longer in life. They're going to fall 20, 30 times. It took me a little bit longer. I'm 54 right now, but I've got it. And I don't want to go back to making mistakes. Sometimes, we can't help what we do. Maybe some people have chemical imbalances or mental issues. But there's resources that want to help, like Wings for Life. They want to help the families of people in prison. I think the last time I checked statistics, 1/3 of the nation has somebody that's incarcerated. And the whole point of a program like this is how can we eliminate them going back or having their children go through the same path. I don't have any children, but I would really like to help others not go through the same mistakes I went through. That's another one of my new interests and pursuits. And back to the balanced plan, job satisfaction. A lot of people just work because they just need to get a job. I believe if you're really passionate in what you do, you're going to be a lot happier every day. And emotional well-being, with being able to coping skills, manage your stress. I've been doing that very well lately, and it makes a huge difference.
Well, I talk to guys all the time. I got another channel, and they call me. They're getting ready to go to prison because they're out on bail and pretrial. But they don't want their kids to follow in the same path. Then I got guys to get out, and now they want to do the right thing.
Right.
They got kids, and they go, now I've been to prison. How do I teach my son or my daughter that it's not okay, even though me, the father, just saw me do it? But the way you do it is you get out and you go on that right path. You start. It's never too late to do the right thing.
Right.
I totally believe that. You're never too old to finally make that right decision.
Right.
It starts today.
And like I said, we all make mistakes, and that would be difficult for a child to have his parent in prison. However, if the parent, while he's there, he learns from mistakes, he repents of his sins, and he does something, maybe, learning, taking college courses in prison, coming out of there and being able to start successfully back in life instead of just, dwelling on the mistake, making a plan to do, know that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel when he's released.
Having been in prison, a lot of guys, not everyone will admit this, but now we finally have the time to read the Bible, and you'd be surprised. Not that you're going to come out of Jesus, the Bible thumper, but you finally get a chance to get in touch with God, and it makes a big difference.
And I believe very genuinely and reading the Bible. If you can, start out your day with it. But you have to be passionate about the Bible and live what you're reading, not just have it go in one ear and out the other. Live the Bible. The Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth. It all makes sense. The Bible is wonderful, and it's really helped change my life tremendously.
Yeah.
And so it has Chris and Sonia's Cleveland's program under his construction. I give that program a thumbs up.
Let me catch up on some of these comments. Katrina. Hi, Katrina. How you doing? Katrina. And I guess she's talking to Cathy. How's your son? Katrina's got a son. He's in the county jail, but he's supposed to go to prison, and they've been keeping him there forever. He's been sentenced, and she's got her own troubles going on. He's doing okay. Good to hear. But thanks, though, ladies, for coming in every week. They're kind of been regulars. They're always on the show. You know, me and you were talking yesterday about, I remember we're talking about getting caught, going to jail, and not getting caught. Like, I've probably driven drunk maybe 1,000 times in my life. Mostly in my 20s and stuff, but I had a job as a bartender in my 20s, and I drink while I was working.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't going home till 3 a.m, so the cops were already done catching the other guys, so I got away with it. But I mean, 1,000 times drunk, you know, that's a life sentence in prison. I mean, you go to prison 3 or 4 times, you get caught on a DUI, you're going to prison. 1,000 times you get caught. You know how many people that I served that drove drunk never got caught? I know guys that drink today and never got a DUI, or maybe they've had one, or they've had 2, but they've driven thousands and thousands of times. And then for them to judge other people to go to prison. I mean, and that's just one of the things you do in life when you don't get caught.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people use recreational drugs or marijuana, but they're transported in their car. They're doing it in the privacy of their own home, but you break the law. It's felonies. I mean, felonies are broken all the time by people who never get caught. People cheating on their taxes, cheating if you own a business. How many times have you cooked the books and never got caught for it? You know, I mean, I could go on and on. But.
Excellent points. And actually, I believe today recreational marijuana is legal. What I've learned is he's absolutely right. People will tend to keep doing the same thing over and over again because they get away with it. What I've learned in life is we reap what we sow. Eventually, it's going to come to get you. I believe that truly, if you want to call it karma or whatever you want to call it. And I also believe that there's a lot of people out there that do get away with stuff and they don't get caught. And, you know, I'll leave that in God's hands. Okay. And one thing I've also learned to do is just let God handle things. My anger is a lot better these days. I learned how to stay calm in situations and not worry about things I cannot control. Just let it go. It's a lot easier. It just for your health, for my health, it really is.
I got peer pressure down here, and you know, when I first wrote it down, I was thinking in high school days, you get the peer pressure from the other kids, but it happens in adult people and your workplace. All the guys want to go out for drinks after, you know, or you know, I mean, you got peer pressure. You got your buddy. Let's go. Hey, if maybe you're a married man, but he's got a woman lined up for you. There's all kinds of temptations out there as an adult,
right?
You know, and you never know who you're hanging around with. That kind of peer pressure. So even as an adult, I mean, I don't care if you're 80 years old in an old folks home, you got the guys that are still the troublemakers, and that peer pressure could happen all your life. So, and
an example of that with me was in peer pressure is when I got rides to hockey, there were guys smoking marijuana in the car. So I wanted to join them because I didn't want to be the outcast. However, I have learned boundaries. So once again, going back to what I talked to earlier, when we have temptations or we feel like we have to join the other crowd, I say no, because I'm realizing what the consequence is going to be. So maybe somebody will be upset with me or they won't like me. Well, I'm sorry. That's a lot better than ended up in jail or losing special people in my life. It's just not worth it. And I think that once people can start learning boundaries and healthy choices like that, they'll stop relapsing and going back to their old habits.
Yeah. I mean, there are organizations you could contact, like Wings for Life, and that can be your social circle. It's a place to start and meet others and network. And we're in contact with other organizations. Meet some of them the more you come around here. And this is one place to start right here. Our number and everything's across the school and across the screen right now if you're in Albuquerque. But there are organizations like us in your hometown, I'm sure in Australia, and go volunteer. Go to a soup kitchen, a food bank. They're always looking for volunteers there. Maybe a senior citizen rec center. They always need volunteers there, and that's where it starts. And that's where you usually meet good people because there's other people there, volunteering their time. And that's how you build that social circle. And you don't have to have that peer pressure. You have good people around you.
Right.
Develop
a healthy routine. Keep close with interacting with other people, groups, your church. Keep very busy, and then, like I said, in time, that old life will just be a thing of the past. And it's nice to wake up with purpose every day. It really is. It's a great feeling.
Like in my 20s, so I had a group of guys around me, and we were all. This is back I was a drug addict. I was hanging out with not the best kind of friends, right? And maybe one of us had a job and a car in our own apartment. So we were like the top dog of that pack.
Right.
But now I think back, I would have rather found the other kids that had gone off, gotten married, got good jobs, and bought a house and were raising families. And I would have rather been the low man on the totem pole in that group than the top dog in my group with my own car and a job. You know what I mean? You got to make. And I think in life it's kind of, you know what I mean. So we choose who we hang around.
The Bible talks about wisdom and knowledge. I don't have a college degree. I have 3 years at Arizona State, and in my 54 years, I've gained wisdom and knowledge by experience. So I think that's what everybody needs to learn is wisdom, knowledge, learn from other people that have made the mistakes. And some people, they're hard to teach, hard to train. They just keep making the same mistake. Sometimes you got to wash your hands on it, and just pray. But just determination every day on a daily basis, determine, believe in yourself. It's such a big way to change your outlook on life.
Loneliness and depression.
Right.
Now, there's one that can take you down the wrong road real fast.
They say love your neighbor as you love yourself. I really truly believe we have to love ourselves genuinely.
Easier said than
before
done.
we can love others or treat them the way they want to be treated.
How do you suggest someone learn to love themselves?
Ask God for help to start and
God's
realize
voice.
what your calling is. Do really soul searching with yourself, and you got to have help. We can't do it on our own. We need people to help us. That's why having parents that guide us in the right direction is huge, because most children will look up to their father as their mentor or their hero. So,
I also suggest you find somebody else to love and let them know you do it. People do not want to hang around a negative person. Somebody who's always depressed and sad and, poor me, people don't want to hang around you. But if you can express positive things to other people and just let them know that you care and you love them, you will attract the same people. And next thing you know, you're starting to love yourself.
Right. Positive energy is important. Being around positive people. The negative people can be like a domino effect. It's just everybody will just fall right into it. So just try to be nice to people. Spread the good news of Christ. It's a tough world out there right now. I see it every day. Do what we can do to help people, not hinder the world. If you see somebody needs a door open, walking into the grocery store, post office, help somebody. It just make a goal for yourself. What's one good thing I can do today to be a productive member in society? And then at the end of the day, before you go to bed, I got it done. and then do 2 the next day, 3 the next day. Just see the change that occurs.
So somebody gets out of prison, they get out of jail. Now they got to make that choice. Do they hang around? How do you go on the right path after jail or prison? The first thing I think you want to take a look at the people that you surround yourself with every day. Do you agree?
Absolutely, and that's something like I was saying earlier. If you do the right thing while you're incarcerated and get the help you need while you're in there, then you'll have a little preparation for when you get out, and then obviously as a family that's supporting you or somebody that's willing to help you when you get out. So that's not coming out to nothing. That's not going to help. And obviously it's going to take some time for anybody, but once again, it just goes back to believing yourself, finding purpose and determination.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to be the king of the losers, or do you want to be the low guy of the winners? I'll take the low guy of the winners. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And eventually, I'll work on it.
You got to start at the bottom, but anywhere you start in life.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I got down here relationships. Now you mentioned that too, and they happen in all kinds. But when we're in a relationship with a man or a woman and we lose them for whatever reasons, they break up, we break up. That's a tough time. A lot of people turn to alcohol and drugs or crime or the poor me's. And,
right.
What kind of advice somebody going through a loss of a relationship?
Loss is very hard, whether it's losing somebody to a death. I lost my mother, a father.
That's
Grieving is very difficult. I have wonderful people in my life, a wonderful girl in my life, and she is outstanding. And, I realized that going back to the positive effect, when we're doing the right thing, it's amazing how the energy in the universe has an effect on everybody else around us. When we do the wrong thing, the same wrong effect, and we hurt others besides ourselves. We affect a lot of people, our friends, our family, our coworkers, everybody. And I know that I have an impact on a lot of good people that are in my life right now, and I thank God for them believing in me and staying with me. It's just awesome. I'm so thankful and so grateful.
I'm going to read this from Cathy D. She says, I'm blessed to have found my calling. I work with people with disabilities. Helping others has definitely helped me cope with my son's situation. That's great to hear, Cathy. That I'm glad that you are working your hour out there volunteering and getting to know people, because her son's in prison, and that's a loss. And that's hard to take. When somebody else does time, the families do time too.
Mm-hmm.
And has a book she wrote called. I'm looking for a copy of her book to show up, but I don't see one handy. But it's The Family Incarcerated. That's
Yeah, and an example is I was at a networking group the other morning, and there were 2 ladies that were walking around. Both their sons were murdered, one in a home invasion, one in a road rage situation. And now they're going out helping people, families, victims that were victims of this. So, they're making a difference. Okay, instead of just saying, why me? Why wasn't him? Now they want to go help people that have gone through something like this. I think that's awesome. Yeah.
Do you have some advice for people getting out of jail or prison? Maybe how to find a job, how to find the right friends, how to find that right path in life?
You probably need to find, while you're in there, probably need to talk to the staff there and find out the resources that you have getting out of there, or stay strong with your family and friends that they can help you when you get out. It's not going to be an easy thing. It's probably going to take a pretty long time, and I've learned to have a lot of patience. Patience is a virtue.
Cathy and Katrina out there both have sons in prison. While their sons are incarcerated, maybe a few words to them how they can get through this time that they're waiting. I think Katrina's probably got a little less than a year. Her son will come home. Cathy's got to wait 8 more years.
Mm-hmm. I believe in them, pray for them, stick by them, love them, and visit them, talk to them, encourage them, and forgive them. Forgive them.
I like the fact Cathy and Katrina's in Michigan, Cathy's in Australia, and on our chat room here, guys, they're talking to each other and they're on
Right.
here every week and they're asking how each other's son's doing. And that's great that, I can watch you guys come together like that.
Right. There's another thing. Come together, talk to
They're
each
on
other,
two
develop
complete opposite sides of the planet.
develop
I mean-
a group, a new friendship. You're going through the same thing. Be around
Yeah.
people that are going through the same situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about maybe getting a Facebook page just for the families. There's a lot of them already out there,
Right.
but just to see them talking to each other, Cathy and Katrina, like that.
It's like
Opposite
it's
sides
a-
of the planet, and
It's
they
a
still,
support group.
they have the
support
same.
group.
Yeah, they're going through the same exact thing.
Right.
You know?
So they can relate to each other.
Yeah, they totally
Right.
can. They totally can.
Mhm.
So that's great that they have that. And maybe we need something we can here at Wings we can think about too, a support group
Right.
just for film. Maybe that's what we're all about, anyways, right?
Yeah, like like I was saying, help relate to children or people that have been through our same situation.
Yeah.
Then we know what they're going through, and we can guide them in the right path.
Right.
Right.
Well, let's see, Daniel. Anything else you want to talk about today?
I think we've covered most of it. I mean, just do the right thing, make the right decision every day, and watch your life change.
If you're in the Albuquerque area, we are always accepting volunteers, and we can find anything for you to do. Give us a call. The number's on the screen. It's scrolling across. Instead of sitting at home depressed and scrolling the YouTube search of, some kind of hope, we're here for you. We can help, and we don't care if you. It has nothing to do with prison. If you're just somebody who maybe wants to come out of your shell and you saw the title, Choosing the Right Path in Life, and that's why you're watching this video, give us a call. We can always use support. We always want to make new friends. You come here, you network, you meet other people. Next thing you know, your life's got some meaning. Your life can change, and maybe for the better. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That goes back to the new interests and pursuits. So try something different. Either if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. But it's one thing at a time, one new interest and pursuit. Once you start to like it, you'll go the next day. Before you know it, you won't even remember that day that before you went and made that choice.
Yeah, we're here for you. I know I am. So just give us a call, and maybe we can make a difference in your life. So I know you've made a difference in mine just for watching. So I want to thank you guys. God bless. Next week, Stacy Burleson. She's started a group called Women in Leadership. Here's a woman with 6 kids, did 12 years in prison, and somehow came out the other side and turned her whole life around. You get to hear her story, and now she's helping other women do the same thing with their lives. She's got an incredible story full of tragedy with a happy ending. She'll be here next week. So 3:00 Friday. We'll see you then. Thanks. Love you all. Alrighty.